And welcome. Thank you for joining us for the live launch day of the Ignition Protocol 2025. We're so excited that you could join us. We're so excited to be here. And first and foremost, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Coach G. I'm the mindfulness and productivity coach at Ignition Protocol.
And I'm Coach Lee. I'm the head executive and life coach here.
And I just want to say I'm so grateful to all of the challenge participants who stayed with us for the whole 10 days. And many people got incredible wins, and the energy was just absolutely infectious. And for anyone who wasn't in the challenge, who's just joining us as well, thank you for spending your Saturday night with us.
Yeah, and just before we get started, we'd like to see where everyone's from. If you could put it in the chat here for a second, just like to see where everyone's calling in from here today.
You can definitely see.
My wife is here, Prince Rupert. I know we have some people from the interior here too. Nanaimo, another Rupert.
Nice. Oh my goodness. Inishbofin, Ireland.
In Ireland. Victoria.
Arrington, nice.
Nice. Prince George. Prince Rupert again. Madeira Park. Nice.
Yeah,
Sunshine
Madeira
Coast.
Park. Yeah.
Back to Kitkatla tomorrow. Jane, nice.
Oh,
Kenny,
Cumberland represents.
Haida Campbell River.
This is so cool.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I think we'll get started here.
Yes. So just some quick housekeeping. We are going to have the big cash giveaway, and that's going to be at the end of the presentation. So stay tuned. And we also have the mystery reward that we've been sort of teasing throughout the course of the challenge. That's going to be coming nearer to the end as well.
So first, we're just going to recap the 10-day challenge. Well, so we had about 1,000 wins posted in 10 days. And here's a little grid. We've grayed out names so no one knows who's what. But it's been so much positivity, so much winning in the last 10 days. And we're so happy that you guys joined us with this, because we really wanted you to get a feel and a flavor for what exactly we are trying to create here. And that 10-day challenge was really a kind of a litmus test of showing you kind of like what we're trying to go for here. So your participation has really made this so great for us. We're so grateful and honored that you guys came on this journey with us. What we're already hearing, right, is people have increased focus. They have instant motivation, as someone said. It's kind of designed as a jumpstart, right? People already improving their daily routines, already getting some of that content really ready to go. More clarity on their goals. And I think the support part is a huge part of this, is feeling supported. You can post like almost the most mundane task, and a whole group of people swarm you and say, hey, great job. We're also seeing people who are starting to look a little bit more inward, right? Then getting those tools for conflict, really trying to sort out some of those relationship dynamics in their life, and increased energy, which is all what we're here to do. And this kind of confidence that's starting to surge. And one thing I saw through the entire 10-day challenge is this kind of aha moments that were people having going through the timeline and the challenge and seeing some of the content that we're putting down. But I wanted to post this one, and we're not going to put the name here, but our challenge was not designed as like a weight loss challenge or anything. It was more of a jump start, just kind of
just get moving,
but also like a whole variety of topics to kind of consider. But this person here posted this just today, that they started the challenge at 187 pounds and they finished the at 179 pounds. So what's that? Seven
point something
pounds. Yeah. And in just 10 days. And that person knows who they are. Yeah. So
you are. Good work.
I just thought that was kind of interesting. Like, it was not designed to be that kind of challenge, but so happy that this, by implementing some of our nutrition tweaks, like almost immediately getting those results. And so this is just, all in 10 days, right? And the momentum has just started. So we wanted to, invite you to think about like what could happen if this was actually a 6-month long process. So that's why you're here tonight, because we want to introduce you to our 6-month facilitated core experience, so that you can take charge at home and thrive at work. And before we get into the program and what this is all about, I wanted to quickly introduce you to the team at Ignition Protocol. So there's myself, I'm the life and executive coach. We have Nico Brain, who is my older brother, who's our fat loss coach and also my coach.
And you'll see him in the chat there, putting rocket chips up into the sky.
Yeah, and if you have any questions throughout this entire presentation, just put them in the chat. We're going to compile them all, and at the end, we're going to do a bit of a Q&A with you guys. Then we have our dad, Howard, who is sitting behind the screen here, making sure that all this stuff runs smoothly. And he's our business coach as well as our business manager. And then sitting next to me is Graham McNish, our performance and mindfulness coach. And then we have 2 new coaches that have joined us since our pilot, which I will talk to you guys about here in just shortly. Is Amber Charette. She runs the Pinnacle Performance Gym here in Prince Rupert. She's a personal trainer and a nutrition coach. And then we have Doug Morash, who has joined us. He also did the pilot, and he is a professionally trained chef and our nutrition coach now. And so before we get into the program details and what the 6-month process looks like, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about like why we even did this in the first place.
Yeah, so why did we create this? Well, I just want to first off introduce you to somebody there. That's me. You can see I've got a big smile on my face, but doesn't really quite reach my eyes. You know, there was a time in my life, and I feel like I'm quite similar to most people, where things just weren't adding up at all. And I was really struggling. I didn't really feel a lot of connection. You know, I'd try and get to work, often was almost late, coffee all morning, big lunch. Now I'm so tired, and I get home, there's the argument about dinner. Are we going out? Are we staying in? Then we get to the later evening, I get this surge of energy, and now I'm staying up super late, like playing video games or on my phone or watching a show. Finally, it's 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. and I'm laying in bed trying to sleep, remembering that, hey, you know, I used to be an athlete. When am I going to start exercising again? You know, this modern world, there's kind of like this default setting to the modern world. And the default setting is, in a way, the downward spiral. It just takes us into a rut. And really, it's not our fault. It's not anybody's fault. A lot of this stuff was just like this when we all showed up. But the fact is that it's just good to have something to deal with it. Because when we don't, where this is all going is, you know, the kids see us on our devices. They likewise get sucked into the device. The feeling of disconnection creates the situation where you're so lonely, even when you're completely surrounded by other people. There's unhappiness at work, and generally most relationships can feel really quite difficult. That's just the surface stuff, though. At the underneath area, like the emotional core of all of us, we have these problems where even when we want to appreciate other people for their successes, we just feel kind of resentful. At least I certainly did at times in my life. There's those times where imposter syndrome robs us of the joy of our accomplishments. We're doing well at work, but we just feel like a fraud. Finally, or not finally, but filling the void with recognition is something that I think affects many people, where, you know, instead of feeling good from inside, you're looking for someone else to give you that approval that you really are looking for. And then the ultimate theft of joy, comparing ourselves to others. A lot of this is just coming from the natural road that the modern world takes us down, and it leaves us with these voices in our head of, you know, what if I fail again? The doubts, they bubble up. Those moments we really should be asking for help and relying on our community. Well, sometimes the community's not there, or they are there, but we just don't know how to reach out. So we can get stuck in real tough moments of self-disgust and judgment to other people, which is usually what happens when we feel that sort of feeling towards ourselves. So, you know, when you just don't feel like you're winning and you don't trust yourself enough to stay committed, you just choose what's familiar over what could be possible. And for me, what that was a big smile out in the party, but that smile was never reaching my eyes.
Yeah, and I had a similar process to Coach G here too. And ultimately it comes down to this. Well, what if you had a choice to make changes like that, right? And what if there was a process that could get your life sorted fast? And that was something that we actually talked to ourselves about. And we wanted to know, you know, could we create something like that? So we did. And at first we created it just for ourselves. We were like, well, let's create a roadmap where everyone was kind of in funks, and we wanted to see if we could create like a program that could get us moving. And then we decided to, you know what, take this to another level, and we decided to run a pilot program. So last January to May 2024, we did our first run at this. We wanted to see and test, hey, like, is this going to work, right? And so we actually had 50 people come on this experiment, we'll call it, with us. It was a bit of a social experiment to try this program out. And you know what? There was nothing but results. I mean, if you look at the screen, it's nothing but smiling faces. It worked out much better than we could anticipate. So many wins all around. We did a lot of like in-person kind of Rupert focused get-togethers and things like that. And it was just such an amazing time over a 100-day period. And to this day, even right now on this call, we have people from the pilot who are part of this program that are back in the challenge with us. Because it's just something so powerful and so positive about what we're trying to create here. And we kind of grew tired ourselves of like just being sucked into this negative social media world where you just wake up every day and you're just like sucked dry from social media, basically.
Yeah, like a lot of times, if you want to even just say anything, like so it's even slightly, happy about yourself or what's going on for you, if you did it in any other social media area, you just get completely slammed. And so we wanted to see, is it actually possible to have sort of a positive side to that social media world that we don't really have a lot of expectations of these days.
And so the overall results of our program, in 100 days, we had like combined, we lost 320 pounds together as a team. Some people in our program actually had full health turnarounds. They had different issues that they were dealing with that actually like completely turned around. We had people who had increased emotional well-being, a lot more mental clarity, lots of people who had better life visions for their lives, and very dialed in daily routines as well, where people were making more time for their family. Part of our program is actually reclaiming 3 to 4 hours for yourself. And then just ultimately getting better performance at work, better tools to resolve conflict. So you can work in any situation with any person in any circumstance and really just be able to handle people. And then, this confidence to lead is what we saw come from the pilot. And then, there was different goals achieved with Ignition Protocol. And one of the things that maybe was a little bit unexpected, that maybe wasn't necessarily intentional on our part, is that it's kind of designed in a way to achieve what you're trying to achieve. It's not a one size fits all approach. So we had people who walked out of there starting businesses. We had some people who changed careers. We had a couple people actually who got promoted from some of the tools that we've given them. We had other people who started volunteering and even managing volunteer organizations. And then we also had like couples who joined the program together and who transformed together, which is one of the, I think, secret sauces of our program is when you do it as a couple, the results almost are twofold. And I think this quote here kind of sums up from one of our Rocketeers, Kenny,
who's
I
here
think
today.
on the call tonight. That kind of sums up what Ignition Protocol is really all about.
As he put it, Ignition Protocol is the perfect antidote to the general malaise that we may feel in society these days. And thanks, Kenny, for saying that. And thanks for coining the term Rocketeer.
Yeah, so Kenny came up with the term Rocketeers for our community during the program. So we kind of like that. And I've seen on this challenge that Igniters seems to be one. So, you don't have to believe us for this. We have a dozen testimonials on our social media now of what the results were. Like if you look at the top left there, you have Kirsten. She actually went off and started Skeena Language Institute, a local business here in Prince Rupert. It was her passion. She decided to go off and do something that she was passionate about. We had Doug Morash, who's now one of our coaches and wasn't then. He's lost over 60 pounds through the program. And this inspired him to become a nutrition coach. And now he's working with us as a nutrition coach. You have on the bottom left there, James Warburton, who is, a serial entrepreneur. We're actually in his building. We're one of his tenants here at the Highlander, who was so busy, but was able to start carving out a new daily routine where you can kind of get it all done and still have family time. We have Rob Eby at the bottom right there. He lost 25 pounds. He's a local business owner here, very successful business owner, lost 25 pounds in the program and then kept it up. To this day, has now lost 53 pounds, and he's also back in the challenge, and this time has his wife and his child with him in the challenge. So
nice work, Rob.
People have asked us, is there, we'll see you, Kenny. Yeah, you're blushing. So people have asked us, like, does this last? And we think it does. We think the results do last. Because ultimately we started this because we built this for us, as we told you about, right? Here's Coach Neeks. He's holding my daughter there actually. And he was 70 pounds overweight and he lost 70 pounds and got ripped basically and now became a personal trainer. And he's our head fat loss coach. And then you have Coach G here who's telling you about that kind of the smile he had on his face, but not smiling in his eyes. Well, he decided to take action and get in shape. And now he's one of our performance coaches here. And then on my end, I used to be the mayor of Prince Rupert. I had an 8-year stint of being in politics. And, I've done all kinds of different government meetings, different stakeholder meetings. I've met with, foreign dignitaries. I've met with all kinds of different professionals in my life. And during that time, I was also doing a lot of professional development training, leadership training. And something dawned on me that there's this kind of world of professional development where they kind of think that it's a separate thing from your personal life. Like it's somehow conflict resolution is over here on the right, but on the left side is your personal life. And it's just disconnected kind of approach where you go to like a weekend workshop on conflict resolution, or you do like a conference where you see like a guest speakers and things like that. And then you come home and you forget it all and you get back into your patterns. And after doing all this kind of different training, I just decided, you know what, there's got to be a better way to do professional development training that's more active, more engaged, but also is combined with your personal life. That is something that I learned through this time as being mayor. And so when we came together, we decided, like, how could we make a program that can not only sort your personal life out, but can it also sort your professional life out kind of all at the same time? And so that is where the birth of Ignition Protocol came together, with all of those kind of modalities coming together into one thing.
Yeah.
So what we want to talk to you now is kind of like how this works, what we've changed from the pilot as well, because we've made some changes based on the feedback that we got from the pilot participants, because we really wanted to dial this in to make it work for people. And so this is how it works. So the first thing is that there's two streams. There's a core stream, which is our personal development stream, and then there's a pro stream, which is our professional development stream. And this is all happening concurrently over 6 months. Now, one thing we've changed this time, when the pilot, we kind of threw everything at you, kind of made you do everything. This time we're giving you a choice. You can choose to just do core, the personal development side of things, or you can do pro, which also includes core content as well. So you can have that flexibility this time. If you're just looking to do like personal development, get into shape, getting healthy, then you could do core. But if you want to like level up at work, really take those like conflict skills to the next level, then pro is kind of where it's at.
Yeah, so the core of Ignition Protocol is the stuff that if you were in the challenge, you got to see over the last 10 days. So you have the TNS Health System, the Art of Home Framework, the Focusing of the Drifting Mind, Toolkit to Now, and Self-Authorship. So what these relate to in the 6-month program is the TNS Health System takes you through your training, your nutrition, and your steps. Your nutrition and your steps, so that you have the energy from getting grounded. The Art of Home Framework comes into our home life management system, where you get your environment, your sleep, and your finances all dialed in so that they're not stealing away from your energy and creating unnecessary stress. Focusing the Drifting Mind gets into our mental systems and focus, where we do a digital detox and we really dial in that productivity and get those kind of hacks and ideas that are out there all working in a system that works for you. The Toolkit to Now is all about the thing you've heard us say over and over again, which is presence, meditation, journaling, all of the tools that we talk about in the Toolkit to Now to help you stay in the present moment, where you can be kind to yourself and kind to others. Finally, we have self-authorship, which goes to vision, where we get further into the 7 sabotages, the 7 self-limiting beliefs, but also the vision for who are you now and who are you going to be, who are you becoming.
Yeah, and then on the pro side, we have your leadership style and the principles of leadership. We have Talk That Lands, which is all about effective communication. We have Leading Teams, which is all about building high-performance teams and managing them. We have Cooling the Fire, which is all about conflict resolution. We have Adapting to Tomorrow, which is all about AI and automation coming to the fore. And then we have what we call Own Your Impact, which is all about you becoming a recognized community leader. And so through the 6-month program, you're going to go through these in detail. But the leadership style is all about building your self-awareness and your emotional intelligence, so you know how you are and how you react to people around you. Then we'll go into Talk That Lands, which is all about and getting deeper into public speaking, speaking with confidence, those kinds of tools. Then we're going to go into high performance team and learning about team dynamics. We're learning about collaboration, but also learning about group facilitation tools, basically how to work with any team in any circumstance. Then we go into Cooling the Fire, which is all about conflict resolution. We're going to go into conflict models. We're going to actually do a whole bunch of workplace scenarios so that you can kind of get all the tools you need for every kind of personality style, we'll say. And then we're going to Adapting to Tomorrow, which is all about AI and automation, how you're going to thrive through change, how to get prepared for this disruption that's coming to the workforce. And then there's Own Your Impact, which is you really actually stepping into your leadership, becoming a recognized community leader, and building your community profile. And so we want to talk about some of the program features that we've changed from the last time. So the first thing at the core of this program is what we call a facilitated cohort experience. The entire time you are guided by us. So all you actually have to do is show up and follow along. There's really no thinking involved. We kind of guide you through the process, and everybody starts at the same time and ends at the same time. So this isn't like a static course where you watch a video and you go away. It's actually a process you go through a series of time.
And if you've done the challenge, you understand kind of what that's like. Everybody was doing the same amount of steps all at the same time, and they were all supporting one another as they were finding ways to get those steps in. Really, the challenge is just the first 10 days of the Ignition Protocol 6-month program.
Then you have kind of a community support element where there's a peer-to-peer mentoring system that we put in place. So we all have something to teach each other. Everybody's got a skill. So rather than it's us coming top down telling you how things are going to be, we are all guiding and helping each other to be, because we can't be good at it all. We can't be good at everything in life. So we all can learn from each other and grow from each other. And we have this concept called daily wins. If you've done the challenge, you know what that means now, where you post daily. And you can just post the most mundane task, and you'll find a whole swarm of people will come in there and go, yes, good job, great job. It's this overwhelming positive support where we're going through the good, the bad, and the ugly of life. This isn't about overly being positive. It's about us going through the motions of life together and really building a lifestyle together. Then we have accountability partners as part of the program. So we're going to pair you up at time to time, at different times with different people in the program in a very organic way so that you can make new friends, you can build new connections with people. And then we have a very key aspect of our program, which is called action learning. So rather than watching a 4-hour course and just sitting there like dry, we have a thing where we actually put you every 10 to 20 days, kind of mini challenges that actually kind of force you to do the things that you want to be doing. And we take care of one thing at a time. So for example, in this past challenge, you did 10 days of steps. And the truth is that's the beginning of Ignition Protocol. Now in the next 10 days, you would have started our nutrition and you would have done 10 days of nutrition. We would have all zoned in on that. And so that's how this kind of works. There's these little periods where we kind of move through together, all step by step. Now, one thing we learned from the pilot is like, we're all human beings. We all got lives, and we're asking you to commit to a 6-month process. So here's some things that we've done to make a change. First, we want this to be a very laid back, relaxed experience. We don't want this taking over your life. So we have now built what we call vacation mode in. You're going to be able to hit a button called vacation mode. And when you go on holiday, let's say the summertime, you're going away for a month. I think actually someone's getting married here in the group here in August for a month. And you can hit the button, vacation mode. We have a little recommended kind of how to stay on track during your vacation. And then when you come back, you can just jump right back in where you left off, right back into the jet stream, because we want this to be a fun experience that is designed for your lifestyle. Then we have intentionally built bite-sized content. So no more long courses. It's all going to be very short, bite-sized stuff for your busy life so that when you come in and learn something, it's going to be what you need to know, when you need to know it, at the exact time you need to know it, to give you the tools to really kind of push to the next level. And we tried to do that during the challenge, kind of give you those bite sizes so it doesn't overwhelm you with all this extra stuff. Another thing we learned from the pilot was, you know what? We all do this. We all do 3 weeks or 6 weeks of exercising. We're going to the gym. We're on track. And all of a sudden we fall off. We get quiet. And then we fall off track. So we have now designed what we call the reignition protocol for easy recovery. So if you fall off track, you can enter into a small little process that'll get you right back into the jet stream, back into the program. So we acknowledge that that's going to happen. 6 months is a long time. You're going to have that ability to jump right back in at any time. And then we're also going to have scheduled breaks in the program so that everyone can stay at the same pace. We like it when people are all kind of moving together at the same time. So this time we're going to have some scheduled breaks so that there's more of a pace and more of a design system like that. The other thing that we have is we're custom building from the ground up right now is our Ignition Protocol community app, and it's very early days. We've just launched this app. We're going to be working on it throughout the entire year. We've got about 30 projects on the roadmap for this app. We're going to be working out those bugs and things like that. But one of the things you're going to have in this program is like a whole bunch of exciting rewards, and we're going to have a bunch of baked in optional this time competitions. But if you ask any of the pilot people, we had a competition in the pilot, and it was a lot of fun and it was a really good time. And so there's going to be competitions, you're going to have rewards, and there's going to be some big prizes and things like that, because we want this to be fun and we want this to be a rewarding experience for you. And then now, if you did the challenge, you saw that we had a progression tracker in there, and this one you were tracking just your steps every day. But actually what will happen in the program is there's going to be up to 14 progressions that are going to unlock, and you're going to have a whole system of progressions there that are a little bit more prescribed to rather than you kind of determining your own habits type of thing. The other thing you get with our program is you get the Ignition Fitness app. So what this app does is all your workouts are going to be in this app. So whether you're working out at home or you're working out at the gym, everything's in this app. All the videos are there. All your programs are there. One of the best parts about this is it remembers your last workout. So whatever you've done last time, the numbers are in there. You don't have to think about that. It syncs to your watch. So all your steps and things like that get recorded. And then all the videos are in there for proper form. So one of the things I love the most, I'm like, how do I do this again? I click the video, it tells me how to do it. And it's so convenient, right? There's no guesswork. So you're going to also get access to that app as well.
So just to take you through the schedule of the 6 months, for the first month, it will be TNS level 1. So that's training, nutrition, steps, starting with steps, then another 10 days of nutrition, and then 10 days of training. Then we get into the art of home, where we're going to actually dial in on your home environment, your sleep, as well as your finances. Then we go back to TNS again so that we can really dial in and cement the things that we've learned in TNS 1. Month 4 will be focusing the drifting mind and the toolkit to now, where we really focus in on that productivity and that presence. We go back to TNS one more time for level 3. And this is where we're going to really make sure that this is a habit for life that's really locked in. And then finally, we get to the vision that comes with self-authorship, tackling the self-sabotages that are out there, and really getting clear about who you are and where you're going.
And so what we've also designed this so that if you want to do just core, you can do just core this time rather than having pro. But if you subscribe to pro, you're going to get pro and core. So on the pro side, we start with month 1 on your leadership style, principles of leadership. Then we go into month 2, which is Talk That Lands. This is public speaking, effective communication. Month 3, we're going to do a whole month on conflict resolution because it's a very big topic. And then on month 4, we go into leading high performance teams. So this is going to teach you how to lead up, lead down, lead diagonally. It's going to show you how to work in any environment and basically be part of a team, but also lead those teams. Then in month 5, we're going to go into Adapting Tomorrow, which is all about the AI and automation. We're going to talk about skills and tools that you're going to need to maybe start thinking about to start getting ahead of that. And then on the final month, we're going to go into Owning Your Impact, which is going to be you becoming a recognized community leader. We're going to talk about the community leader toolkit that you're going to get in that month, and that'll be the whole 6 months. So the program will start on June 2nd, and it's going to go right till actually December 1st, November 30th. So it's a 6-month process. So on June 2nd to 15th, we're going to do what we call ground school orientation. So this is a 2-week period in the beginning of the program where everyone's kind of getting ready for a 6-month build up here. We're asking you to commit to a 6-month full life transformation, like taking it to the whole new level. So there's some things we need you to do to get ready so that come June 16th, when this program begins, we are all starting all at the same time.
Yeah, we all really want to be starting on the starting line in the same place. As you saw in the challenge, if you were a challenge participant, doing everything together, facing the same challenges together is where a lot of the magic happens in this program.
So ultimately, it's like, who is this for, right? If you're trying to start a business, this is definitely a program for you. If you're in an organization and you have a team that wants to do this all together as a group, this is great for that. This is great if you're looking to get a new career or you're looking to maybe get promoted in the career you're in and do some job upskilling. It's good if you're wanting someone who wants to make an impact in the world. Say you want to start like an initiative and start a nonprofit or that kind of thing. Or it's also very good if you just don't know what you want to do and you need some direction and you maybe want to improve your health. There's kind of something for everyone in Ignition Protocol. We've kind of designed it that way.
So one thing that many of us have said many times is, I'll get started on Monday. But as many of us know, Monday never comes. The reality is that for most of us, I know speaking for myself, this is true, you need a plan to get from start to finish so that you don't have to worry, am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing something else? You can just follow the plan, a protocol that guides you through onto the next thing that gives you the sense of ease as you're launched into the orbit of your life.
Yeah, so we want to talk about what you're going to get on this. So you're going to get the TNS system, which is level 1 to 3, also the Ignition Fitness app as well. And we've done private coaching over 6 months, and there's well over $5,000 to do coaching like that. So it's about a $3,000 value there. You get the Art of Home framework and the toolkit to Now Systems, which is about a $2,000 value. You get the Focus of the Drifting Mind toolkit, which is about another $1,000 value there. You get the entire core grounding framework and the self-authorship program, which is about a $3,000 value. You get the confidence, conflict, and leadership series, which honestly I've seen weekend workshops for $5,000 for just a 2-day on things like this. You get the entire Lead Easy framework and professional mastery program for about $6,000 value. You get the Ignition Protocol community course and fitness app. And then you also get the in-app community support from peers as well as us. And so at the end of the day, this is about over $20,000 worth of stuff you would do if you were to do this all separately and purchase it all separately with different programs, different coaches. And I know this for a fact because I have personally spent over $130,000 on personal and professional development. This is a core interest of mine. I have been in every workshop and every professional development you can get, and have paid top dollars on health coaching, all that kind of stuff, just to get a sense of like what's out there. I'm a student of life, and I'm infinitely curious, and so I've personally spent some money on that. But obviously, we're not going to charge you $20,000 for this program. We would never do that. No one can afford that. And if we were to cut that in half, we definitely wouldn't charge you $10,000 for this either. And if we cut that in half again, that'd be $5,000, and we're not going to do that either. And if we cut that half again, it would be $2,000, and we're definitely not going to charge you that. What we do believe is a fair value for this program is Core at $1,390 and Pro at $2,000 for the whole 6 months. We believe that's actually a fair value for the program for the entire 6 months. But we're also not going to charge you that either, because what we want to show you today is the mystery reward. So everyone's been competing in this challenge, and you've been earning this mystery reward. And we had a bit of an internal challenge for ourselves. We decided that, look, we wanted to make it so that you would get an extra 50% discount if you completed the challenge, and that's what the mystery reward is. But we also decided that if 100 people at least finished the challenge, that we'd open up that 50% discount to everybody, including anyone who hasn't done it. So we can definitely announce now that we have well over 100 people who have fully completed the challenge and unlocked the mystery reward. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to charge only $695 for Core. That's the entire 6 months of it, and Pro at $997, and that also includes everything in Core, when paid in full. So that is the price that we believe is fair. You've earned that, and I think that's a great value for what we're going to be offering here. So if you're ready to sign up, you see the link there. It's ignitionprotocol.com/join to start checking out today, to start joining us in the program. You have till June 1st basically to jump in. We're also going to give you 3 easy payment options. So if you're looking to do a payment plan, that's also included in there. And one thing that we've changed that's different than what we did with the pilot is we're going to offer some accelerated growth opportunities. So one thing we've learned is that as coaches, we have limited time and we have limited capacity as humans to give our time to other people. Yeah. So you get all this in-app support, you get all the process like you've learned in the challenge. If you've done the challenge, it's exactly that kind of experience. But if you want to work with us one-on-one or work with other people in a group environment, we've separated that a little bit. So at the checkout, you'll see accelerated. You'll be able to customize your program a little bit. And one of the recommendations that we have for you is what we call our first bundle, which is first one is a 360 life audit that we do. So it's a 2-hour call with us, 3 coaches. We go through health, relationships, finances. We start from childhood right to now, and it's probably our most powerful tool. We have so many people in the pilot who said that this was the most powerful tool of them all.
Yeah, and you see, like, if you go and look on the Ignition Protocol page, there's many testimonials that people give, and that comes up over and over again. The life audit really mattered.
Yeah, and we have other one-on-one coaching options there. We're going to only have 50 spaces available for that. Because we can only control our time so much. But one of the things that we're doing at this checkout right now is one-time bundles. And our recommended bundle is that you do the 360 life audit with us, and as well as you join the monthly group call to build deeper connections with other participants, and we will meet monthly. So those checkouts those one-time bundles are only at this checkout. Now, during the process, if you want a life audit, if you want some one-on-one coaching, you'll be able to actually upgrade at that time, but those bundles will not be available. Now, we just want to remind you that this is best done with family and friends or coworkers. It's actually way better done as a group, and particularly done as a couple. We had people in the program who, they have one partner is accelerating growth and exploding their growth in their life. Meanwhile, the person at home is kind of watching them do that. So it's so much better if you do it together. And so one thing that we've designed here at the checkout is when you go to the checkout, you're going to see 3 options. You're going to have a checkout for just yourself, a checkout for myself and others, and then a gift option. So maybe this is not right for you, but someone that it is right for, so you might want to gift it to them. But the myself and other option, what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to check out for yourself as well as like your partner or your kids or your family. And then when you go to the customization option, you're actually going to be able to customize every one of those person's programs individually and have one full complete checkout. So your wife doesn't have to have their own checkout and you have your own separate checkout. You can have one complete household checkout. And so we've designed that for some convenience. And if you're in here as a business or as an organization, or your organization like brought you here, we have special pricing for the organizations. At this point, if you did join as a group, as your organization, it's best to go back to your HR person that got you in here and say, hey, yes, I'd like to continue with this. And we have some special packages with that where we've rolled in a couple different options for them. So just contact us directly and we'll work with you there.
Yeah, I know a lot of organizations are really happy to pay for their employees to do this kind of work.
Yeah. So in our pilot, we actually had a few participants who were able to get their employment to pay for the program for them. So you can always send them the checkout link and say, hey, I'd love to do this. Can you sponsor me? And that has happened a few times. Now, if you've done the challenge and you're in the challenge, you're going to have access to the challenge till May 31st. You'll be able to get all the content out of there, download all the materials that we've given you. But after that, you're gonna lose access to the system. So at this point, you have 2 choices, right? So you can either start now or wait for Monday. And that is just, we want you to kind of jump in with us. We're ready to get rolling here. But one thing we wanted to talk to you about is that we have a money back guarantee. So rather than like a 14-day money back guarantee or like a 30-day money back guarantee, it's the entire month of June. So if you purchase today, you'd have till the end of June to refund if you don't want to continue. And that's to give you flexibility. But how our program is designed is that once we get rolling into July, we're kind of rolling. So you get that chance so that, no questions asked, refund there. And just to remind you that this is designed for your lifestyle, we have the vacation mode, we have the bite-sized content, we have the reignition protocol, we do scheduled breaks. This is all designed so that you can do it at your leisure, so that you can not have the pressure to have to do everything all at the same time. It's all meant to design it so that you can have and relax into our program. So enrollment closes on June 1st at midnight. So there's a couple weeks here to decide. We'd love for you guys to start getting in with us. You can stay into the group. We're going to keep the challenge going and doing the daily wins right until the end of this month. So feel free to do that. And once again, you get the TNS Health System, levels 1 to 3. You get the Art of Home Framework and Toolkit to Nail Systems. You get the Focusing the Drifting Mind Toolkit. You get the Core Grounding Framework and Self-Authorship Program. You get the Confidence, Conflict, and Leadership Series if you're going into Pro. You get the Lead Easy Framework and Professional Mastery Program, as well as the Ignition Protocol Community Course and Fitness app. And you also get the in-app community support. So once again, for Core, it's not $695 or $997 for Pro, which includes Core. There's also a 3 easy payment option. I'd love you guys to jump in there. There's a link at ignitionprotocol.com/join.